Hello. Good morning. Good morning, America. Oh, man. Cut Medicare. Mm. Finally, Liberation Day. I've been waiting forever. Big Papa, what the hell? Hey, what's up? How's it going? It's Liberation Day. Finally, we're free from the terrible clutches of being the richest country of all time. I really hate the conversation because intuitively, just thinking for a second, America being the richest country of all time, we have so much money and people still think we're being screwed over by other countries, when in reality, we probably did that more to them than any country can possibly do to us. Other than China. China has cheated out of like trade deals, but the list of tariffs today were nonsense, made zero logical sense for any reason. Um, there's a reason they can't talk about the actual policy. They need to use dumb descriptive adjectives like big, amazing, bold, strong to describe it because they know it's a completely fake policy. Yeah, if anything, we screwed the world, if anything. 35%. Well, it's just so dumb. It's not dumb. It needs to be intentional. So pretty much everything is to consolidate power. Trump wants more ultimate power, authoritarian power, where he's in control of the policy, bypassing Congress, bypassing courts, whatever it might be. Tariffs allow him to do it by himself. He can just give an order. He can get favors from different companies and different donors when they come asking for exemptions. He can have fun with it. He can dangle it in front of everyone. It makes him feel powerful whenever he can exercise any dictator type powers at all. He loves the idea of being a dictator. It doesn't need to make logical sense. It does not need to make logical sense. It makes no logical sense when Hitler starts a war on 50 different fronts, or when Putin invades or putt golf. I hate saying his real name because he's such a terrible human being, but him invading Ukraine and everything he does to the Soviet Union, aka now Russia, obviously. But he wants to make another Soviet Union. But yeah, what he does to Russia makes no sense for the people there. They don't care about having an actual prosperous country. They care about the power they can hold and maintain. The best thing about this right now is Trump is speedrunning the entire trying to be a dictator thing. So we thought he was going to be a little bit slower, maybe have a more careful rollout. But the radicals have completely took over. They might be having an Icarus moment where they're flying too close to the sun, hopefully. And we'd rather them hit that point sooner rather than later before they can consolidate even more power. Because we're in a really bad place right now with all this stuff. So Congress is bypassing their responsibility to hold him accountable, to use their power of the purse and power to raise or deny tax raises. I saw like Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell voted with Democrats to try and stop Trump from doing this through national emergency power. When you study presidential powers, national emergency and wartime is when presidential powers are expanded through law and through legal precedent. So the entire rationale behind the unitary executive theory, where they want all this power in the executive to be under, Trump and his henchmen, that all comes from this idea that the president needs to take swift action. The president needs decisive power at every turn, so he can make things happen when he says so. Which is the argument for an authoritarian government. Don't get it twisted. That is the argument for a China or a Russian system. That is the argument for a state command economy, like China has, or communism, as many Americans consider it today. But an authoritarian power being able to quickly change things. And through presidential powers over the history of America, we've seen these powers expand more and more and more with every war, with every conflict, with every national emergency they can find. And we're at the point now where there never was a strong backing behind what is considered a national emergency. And now, if you don't have Congress to be a check on the president, you've basically killed your power to really hold him accountable. Because if you have Congress pass the funds for what the president wants to do, and the president ignores the courts, it's like a two-system. The check and balance is like, if the president's going to ignore the courts, then Congress can say, "Hey, executive, you need to follow the courts." But right now, Mike Johnson is looking to use the power of the purse in Congress to attack the courts, to give Trump more ultimate power. So not only is Congress throwing away their power, they're also using that power to shut down even more checks and balances in the government. And it would require Congress to actually take a stand to end these tariffs. But we're kind of watching on a shaky position. Who's going to move first? How bad do conditions need to get for it to make political sense for Republicans to jump ship from Trump? It might be a pretty long way. We really don't know. It's hard to tell. Trump wants to be infamous. I don't think it's that complicated. Maybe. I don't think he has the ability to have many introspective thoughts. So, as far as being calculated, I think he's more like a baby with a hammer in a room, and he's trying to break things. And he takes power in breaking things. He loves the feeling of having that power. That's why when they say the purpose of what they're doing is to see pain. You know, Trump loves seeing people in pain, seeing people scared, because seeing people scared is the only power he has in life. It's hard to pick people up. It's hard to get power from picking people up. But Trump can get this really easy power. It's easy to access the power of punching people, punching down at those who are in a weaker position, and Trump loves it. He laughs his ass off when they're sending innocent people to slave camps in El Salvador. And after they lie about these individuals to the American people, lying, saying they are convicted MS-13 gang members when they're not, when this has been proven to be wrong, you know, in actual due process. When they're able to get away with something illegal, it's the same P. Diddy Epstein effect. People in power have reached pinnacles of success that many never get close to. And once they reach so many levels of success, they start to indulge in more power fantasies. So you see Epstein parties, P. Diddy parties. They largely do these things because they want to keep on touching whatever is the next dangerous thing. What is the next illegal thing I can get away with? And they get a rush from getting away with it. And they really do enjoy that power fantasy, being able to dominate people. Even though someone who seeks to dominate others is a very weak person. You're a very weak person. You're probably not very intelligent if you seek to dominate others. Because a truly noble person, a truly powerful person, would seek to bring people together to lift everyone up. But that's really hard. So we see leaders now going to a position where, you know, let's fight each other, let's punch each other, let's break everyone down. And I think right now, especially in America, I'm sick of going on TV and seeing people mad about items they have, or seeing people cheer on the shows about cops going after people, cheering on these live streams where they go after, you know, people from the internet that are allegedly looking to abuse children. No one should take enjoyment in watching this. We should not take enjoyment in watching Dr. Phil, you know, join ICE to go after people. If someone is a terrible person, a terrible human being, whether you need to remove them from society, detain them, arrest them, whether you need to, especially if you need to end someone's life for some reason, you should never take happiness in that. You should never be fantasizing about your next opportunity to enact violence on another person, because it's a job that you need to do. You don't want to have to punish someone, but if you need to do something to another person to restrict their access to hurt others, you should be upset about it. It should not be on TV for profit. It should be focused on getting the job done, making communities safer, and that's it. That's it. Getting the job done is not going to be flashy. It's not going to be a TV show. It's not going to be Dr. Phil. But if the American people keep on being okay with this society where we cheer on Hunger Games type shit, then we're not going to be at a good place. Trump must rule with force and pain because he doesn't have the faith of the people. Yeah, and everything Trump is trying to do right now through Doge and tariffs and whatever else, he is not putting it through Congress because he knows it's not popular. And Republicans in Congress know it's not popular to cut Medicaid, to make politics even more full of big money, to make sure that we're cutting funding for Parkinson's research, Alzheimer's research, cancer research. Americans don't want to cut those programs. So Trump is avoiding facing the American people because he knows he's not that popular. He knows he's not a leader. Leaders would be able to get those votes in Congress easily. If Trump has such a huge mandate, he would easily get those votes in Congress. Easily. If these policies were so popular, politicians would have no choice but to vote for him. But they're not that popular. And the immigration policy is only popular because of propaganda. And they lie about literally everything, so. Thank you for becoming a channel member again, Kelly. Thank you. Yeah, and that's really difficult too. See, these are fake accounts here. So it's like, let's see what we got here. We the people actually love Trump. Like, I feel like I do get a similar experience talking to some people. But a real person going through things in life who actually has the ability to like experience emotions and see what's happening around them, they don't enter conversations like that, you know? The chick who's doing the running in Congress, but politician, but for real? Do you mean this? Wait, wait a second, let me find her. Do you mean this person? Wait, do you mean someone running for Congress, the YouTuber girl? I think I saw a YouTuber, this girl, I think.
I'm Kat, I'm running for Congress, and this is a day 3 update for how the campaign's going. First off, we have raised over $275,000 in our first 3 days. We've gotten so many volunteer requests, I am absolutely blown away and can't thank y'all enough. This is going to be reinvested.
My left's nut is smarter than Trump. Your left nut is smarter than Trump. It's crazy.
Right back into the community. Which brings me to my second point, feedback. We've heard from a ton of people. We've gotten a lot of great questions and suggestions from people in district. And so I want to address the most common ones. One of the first things we heard from donors in the district was concern about our policy with TV ads.
So she's running against a Democrat in a very blue district. She got a lot of attention because of her Instagram photos of her. And also she curses a lot and she's young and whatever. She gets a lot of donations. She gets tons of donations. And it helps if you have a media following, because if you have like 70,000 YouTube subscribers and you have 50,000 people donating a couple dollars, that's why she can raise this much money. She's on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Does she have a chance to win against the incumbent? Is this the person you're talking about? Because I don't know if she has a chance to win against the incumbent. I'm not really sure how that would work or how it does work. I don't follow Chicago politics, believe it or not.
I said I didn't want to spend money on TV ads, but I'm probably a little biased considering I watched Fox News every night for 4 years for a job.
She used to clip things we said on Fox and try to get us all fired.
So my perception might be a little, jaded. Even so.
What is your solution to repealing Citizens United? I would just campaign on it, bro. I wouldn't even bring up Citizens United. I would just keep on passing bills to ban super PACs over and over and over again. And keep on finding workarounds to banning, different kinds of donations, even political action committees, more regulation on those, banning stock trading, other places where it can hurt a politician. I don't know, have a rule that you can't join a private company X number of years after being a congressperson or something crazy. I don't know. There's a million things. In reality, you would just campaign on it. and keep on trying to push different policies through, and hopefully one gets done eventually. But the big thing is you have a strict line. So like banning stock trading in Congress, for example, you would run on that and basically say like, okay, if anyone votes against this, they are corrupt. You know, you would paint them with that very broad brush.
So I hear y'all, which is why we are reevaluating this position and trying to figure out the best ways we could use TV ads in the district. That being said, we are going to prioritize our mutual aid efforts over any TV ads, but you know, I think that's probably fine. I also promised no grifty, send us $5 or the world will die texts. And while we didn't do that, we haven't gotten a positive response to the texts we have sent. Even with really straightforward phrasing, there's just not really a way to do it that doesn't feel grifty. So we're winding down our texting program. We still will be sending out emails, but there's an option in there if you want to receive less of them or none at all, because we don't want to clog up your inbox. If you feel strongly about any of the things,
you could probably have like a congressional report of PACs too, of dark PACs, dark money super PACs, so people know exactly who is spending money where, how they're spending it, what interest groups they're connected to, having full financial disclosures for super PACs, making dark money illegal, so you can say, oh, money is speech, whatever, making dark money illegal. It's really hard to prevent coordination of super PACs with campaigns. That's like extremely difficult to manage. But there's also like, I don't know, there's nonprofits that do a lot of fundraising and spending for elections. Yeah, it's really hard too, because you can say let's ban money in politics, but if like right now Americans are voting for corrupt hedge fund billionaire bankers, whatever, like the worst example of money in politics, that you know, Americans are voting for them. So you need a good messaging campaign along with that. Even just making it a social thing where it's like, okay, we are politicians who pledge to not take corporate donations, or we pledge to not work with super PACs or get dark donations. We will not get dark money donations. If I don't know, if an organization advertises on our behalf, we are not affiliated with it. Kind of how Bernie Sanders did it. I really don't like that Democrats are doing fundraisers with crypto balls, crypto czars, and Mark Andreessen.
I've said so far, or something entirely different, feel free to drop us a line.
You know, that is right. Lauren Boebert's a congressperson, bro. Lauren Boebert.
At hello@capreillinois.com. I do read them. I am trying to get back to as many as I can, but there are a lot. Now, the most common question I got was, why don't you live in the district? And I am not trying to hide this. I talked about it in the Rolling Stone article to other outlets, but I want to make sure I have a very clear, thorough response on one of my platforms. If you aren't aware, this is a map of the Chicago area districts. I'm trying to represent the 9th one, which is right here. And this is where I currently live. So basically, my partner and I had to move to Chicago on very short notice last year, and we picked the first decent furnished apartment we could find.
I forgot you can run in a different district from where you live. I forgot you can do that. Funny how everyone is distracted about tariffs and have forgotten about Signalgate. Yeah, well, that's the point of the administration, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. The goal is to move on and don't talk about it, so no one actually gets held accountable for anything at all. It's kind of funny, but it's whatever. It's whatever. Signalgate really just proves that you can make an issue out of anything that you want, and Republicans are good at making people really angry and sad and traumatic about everything. So if they want to propagandize Hillary's emails, they can do it. Meanwhile, if Democrats want to propagandize Signalgate, which is 50 million times worse, they can't do it because Republicans on the other side are willing to lie and be propagandistic, is that a word? About everything. So they can shut down every attempt to villainize them. It's like, what are we even doing? And, you know, the thing to show about Signalgate isn't really the national security repercussions or implications, okay? The thing to show about Signalgate is how stupid, how dumb, how like silly you need to be. You know, a 12-year-old kid who makes their first Snapchat group knows how to check who's in a group chat. You know, throw away the illegal parts of it. Throw away that it's easily, you can easily compromise Signal if you're a foreign government, and compromise U.S. intelligence and therefore the safety of U.S. citizens and troops and intelligence and whatever. Throw away all those facts. Think about how dumb you need to be, how incompetent you need to be. From this administration that talks about DEI and how DEI prevents incompetence, that they're gonna throw out DEI. Meanwhile, they have some of the dumbest guys, and not only are they dumb, but they lied about it completely. Like, God, it's the type of guys to think that like Snapchat messages actually disappear. Like, it's actually pathetic.
Find. Since then, we've looked at different neighborhoods and had planned to move to the Andersonville, Edgewater.
See, I don't like the word incompetent. Like, how much of a... I still like the word dumbass, bro. I still like the word dumbass. Or just like, bro, you want to talk about people being incompetent or like not having merit? What kind of merit is this? You need a different word. I feel like incompetent sounds finger wavy. It sounds like... It sounds too coastal elites.
Rogers Park area sometime this year, because that's where most of our friends are. That move obviously is still going to happen, but lease breaks are expensive. So we're trying to look.
See, I don't stream consistently now. I took 3 days off and I can't get any callers or viewers. See, this is what happens. This is the game, guys. This is the game. It's how it works. Democracy is dead. Okay, stop being dramatic, bro. Democracy is never alive nor dead. Democracy is only alive if people maintain the system. If the system's falling apart, it can easily be recovered. Not easily. You don't gotta say easily, but still. All of our institutions and norms were norms, okay? They were norms. They were public influence. Right now, Donald Trump, the only reason they don't go and snatch a U.S. citizen off the streets and torture them publicly in El Salvador or wherever is because they know the public pushback is going to be too big for them to overcome politically. They're going after visa holders or they're going after brown people who they can say are MS-13 because they know that society is going to look at them and not enough people are going to care that they're violating laws to go after them. Public consent matters. That's why voting matters, because voting shows public consent. And we assign value to voting. So if a politician gets voted out and denies it, you know, that's going to be frowned upon by the society. People are going to be protesting. And therefore, there's power in the vote because we say there is. There's only power in these systems if we say there is power in the systems. There's only power in these systems if you have a belief in the system. That's everything. There is no magical... It's not a video game where you go out of bounds and you respawn at the beginning and start the obstacle course over again. You know? There's no natural laws. There's no magical aura keeping us in this position. It matters that we need to maintain it as much as possible. But right now, you know, many Americans are... we're very disconnected from what things are and what things can be and how painful things can get when things do fall apart, which is why I think someone like Trump can win. Someone like Trump can only win in pretty easy times when the country's doing relatively good, but there's still enough problems to villainize and a mental health crisis. Because if you look at America, the idea that America is a country that's being taken advantage of when we're the richest country of all time, it makes no sense logically. Common sense, as they say. Like, it makes no sense. People are not happy with the way money is distributed, but the same individuals who will say, I'll pay 20% tariff, I'll pay 20% tax, the largest tax increase to working class people in the last 100 years, basically. I'll pay that. Those same people will go crazy if you try to tax the ultra wealthy more. And they'll somehow be mad about, Yeah. I don't really think the money in politics is going to be a winning topic. That's a huge winning topic. That's a huge winning topic. You think it's evident by Bernie's campaign. Bernie Sanders in 2016, going from a relatively unknown candidate to almost beating the darling, or like the chosen candidate. Even getting close in that is huge. And by the way, Bernie's policy influenced Biden's because of his popularity. Bernie is extremely popular. Probably the most popular politician, one of the most popular in America. Just because Democratic voters didn't choose Bernie to be a candidate does not mean he's not popular. Because the Democratic voter base, they'll pick a primary candidate based off very interesting reasons, you know? Like, do you think Elizabeth Warren is a policy wonk? She did pretty well in the primary. Do you think she would appeal to any moderate voters? The professor, college elite, I have a plan person? Like, do you think she would have appealed? She did appeal in a Democratic primary, but she did not appeal in a general election format. She would not have. Not nearly as much. Running against money in politics is a huge topic. Most Trump supporters think Trump's against money in politics. Tariffs are stupid. If you want to try and use tariffs somewhere, you need to heavily subsidize it on the other end, and you need to pick very specific industries that you want to isolate and build. So let's say you want to build more steel production, or if you want to talk about chip production like Biden did, you can tariff those things somewhere else if you supply a subsidy on the other end, because you can keep demand at a relatively stable rate if you subsidize the transition to a new industry. So if you want a company to pick up their entire supply chain and move it to be all internal to America, number one, North America should be together. So Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. should not be fragmenting ever for national security purposes. Making enemies with them is so stupid. Wait, someone called. Oh no.
Hello?
Hi, this is the YouTube. What's up? Nice. I got a call and they don't want to talk. What a shame. Heard Island and McDonald Island are Australian territory populated by seabirds. I did see that. That's really interesting. I'm happy Trump is tariffing no one. It's a beautiful world we live in, right? I love this world. Trump brings it up. He refers to it as the swamp, basically not even addressing the money in politics. But you have to look at the moderate voters. I could care less what a far right MAGA worshiper believes. Okay, I love them. Okay, I want them to be de-radicalized from their cult. But we care about moderate voters and Republicans who will listen. There's a big segment of the population, which is who calls into my show largely, who will never change their opinions on anything. But the voters that can move do care about money in politics. And if someone really took it to task and ran on money in politics aggressively, there'd be a big shift. But no one does that because Democrats do take a lot of money from big donors. It's very true. Are Democrats 1 million times better than Republicans on the issue of corruption and antitrust and, being against the monopolization of big companies buying up all the small businesses and all the entities and every share in America that they can? Democrats are much better on that topic. Republicans are literally making corruption more legal. But Democrats can't really talk about being completely anti-money in politics because they do still take money, so it doesn't seem genuine, or they can't really run on it because they need that fundraising. So I think that's a big issue with how the party runs right now. What percent of the GOP actually listens, though? We don't care about the GOP politicians. Who cares about them? They're all actors. We care about the swing voters in the middle. We care about the so-called centrists, moderates, or driving up turnout for voters that would care about you. But we can't tariff them? Why not bring a chip factory here? Because if you crash the economy with a executive power national emergency act, then it's not going to matter what industries you have in America because our currency is going to collapse and we're going to be in a Great Depression. And we're not going to have any jobs here. And we're not going to have the capital necessary or control of our currency necessary to actually make that happen. America will be dead. I just can't stand that tariff is now a word that... And I heard ABC talking about tariffs, bro. ABC talking about tariffs? They're like, well, I mean, we have to wait and see how it works. How about Trump today, too? When they talk about, they said, all the tariff numbers are fake, by the way, for the reciprocal tariffs. They're all fake. But they said, Trump was going to tariff at a higher rate, but Trump is kind. Trump is kind, so he's giving them a discount. Trump is kind. So the reciprocal tariffs are only half what they tariff us. It's like all these numbers are fake. But how about the North Korean language, bro? The North Korea type propaganda. He's kind, our kind leader.
Hello?
Howdy. Hi.
Hey, I'm watching your live.
What's up?
What do you want to debate about? I'm willing to listen.
I don't know what's going on in the world right now.
I mean, I'm in Dallas, so what I've seen so far, nothing much.
Okay, do you watch the news?
No, not at all. I don't listen to the news because most of them are mostly fake, respectfully.
Okay, what can we talk about then?
Uh, well, I voted for Trump, so uh, and the main
Yeah, but if you
reason
don't like
why,
watch the news or know what's going on in the world, how can I talk to you about it about it?
the main reason would be illegals. I mean, illegals are bad down here in Dallas, Texas. So,
Okay.
I mean, other than that, and the corona, I think that was bullshit. So,
Nice.
I mean, other than that's really it.
You win. I can't debate you. You win.
Well, okay, I appreciate that.
You win, dude. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. What about the have you heard about them sending innocent people to El Salvador labor camps, prison camps?
Yes, I've heard about it, but I mean, I actually have a friend that was deported to El Salvador because he was illegal. So, I mean, but then again, he was arrested for distribution of marijuana. So,
So the
other
issue
than
right
that,
now is like, for example, an ICE agent will see someone and they'll have a tattoo with like an Air Jordan logo, and because they have an Air Jordan logo, they say he is definitely a member of Trendeagua, whatever the name is, and also MS-13 or whatever gang, and they ship this person with no due process to be in permanent slavery, life in slavery in El Salvador. And yeah, I think it's pretty bad that they're sending innocent people to El Salvador to be beaten and be forced
I
to be in
mean,
slavery.
my friend, he had laugh now, cry later on his neck, and they thought he was an MS-13. So if you actually think about it, a lot of the gang members have laugh now, cry later. So it kind of
So
makes
like,
sense.
so the tattoos they're talking about, especially for one person, there was a professional soccer player with a Real Madrid soccer tattoo. They said that was gang affiliated. There's no evidence with any researcher that they use sports teams for these gangs in Venezuela. So the actual researchers that are from Venezuela know there's not tattoo identification like that. Someone with an autism awareness tattoo because his son or his brother has autism, 15-year-old brother. That person was also sent to El Salvador, and they just don't give a shit. They just send people that are brown in a cage, and they put them in forced labor, and they laugh about it. But it's hard because you don't really hear about that if you watch like I mean Joe Rogan talked about it once, but it's hard to say.
I do watch his podcast.
I mean Joe Rogan brought it up once the other day, but it's pretty shitty, and they're laughing about it. Like they're sending innocent people into lifelong, like I said, it's forced labor in El Salvador. So like a deportation would be, okay, you're from a certain country, we're gonna send you back to the country you came from. But this is 10 times worse. It's much different from a deportation because they'll take someone who's from a different country. They'll essentially, these ICE agents will say, that guy looks like a gang member, and we're just going to say he is because we think he is, and put him in a cage with no due process, no proof, and not deport him back to a country, but they're going to basically kidnap him and send that person without any actual due process to a forced labor camp. And I think that's really bad for any American and any person at all. If the feds have the power to make a accusation and have that stand, the feds should not have that much power, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's I'm completely against the government. I hate the government. I mean Dallas doesn't have the best government, so I completely agree as far as government wise. But I mean, as far as all of that, then I would say just mostly do backgrounds. Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the big thing is they're avoiding the actual law, and they're arguing they don't need to have any background or do any research or any due process. There's one person, he survived electric shock torture in Venezuela and came through a legal port of entry. He did it all the right way through legal asylum. Did everything right. Went to every checkup with ICE. But they just took him one day. They just took him one day and sent him to El Salvador. And now he's going to be in a labor camp his entire life. Probably going to be beaten to death and starved as he works for free. And ripped away from his family. And he came to America, to be safe and seek asylum the right way, the legal way, to add to our country. He's someone that believes in American ideals of freedom and liberty and justice. And this government just rips that person out of here and laughs about it. Like they said, whoops. And, they said they have no responsibility at all for what they did. And like, you have to realize if there's no process for that, if someone comes up to you one day and says, hey, you look like a gang member, and put you in a cage and send you to El Salvador, under that standard, they can do that, and that's why I'm saying we need to pay attention to that and push back against it. I know Joe Rogan talked about it a little bit, so hopefully he keeps talking about it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll keep in touch on that. But I have an uncle that went through the process of citizenship, and now he's working at Kenworth, and he's been working at Kenworth for 35 years. So, and he still has yet to be taken. So that's what doesn't make sense. So,
well, it's not going to be, they don't have enough agents to go after every person, but the big point is just like, they want to abuse power. So they're going after individuals in society that they don't think anyone else is going to feel sympathy for or like stand up for,
I don't have sympathy for people that are violent and break the law.
But we're not talking about that, right? We're talking about like, okay, is someone who's being sent to into slavery, did they actually do a crime? And if there's no proof of that, then thank you for the donation, Rita. Thank you. Yes, you do rock. Thank you for the Cash App donation. Thank you. I appreciate it. Very nice. But yeah, that's the issue though. I hear Republicans keep on saying over and over again, like, how dare you defend these gang members and these violent criminals? Like, no, bro, like, no one's defending violent criminals. We're defending one thing this country is founded on, which is due process. Because, like, if, every person needs due process. Because if every person doesn't have some type of due process, and there's different levels for, like, immigration court versus a visa holder versus green card versus a citizen. There are different levels to it. But if they don't have due process, then no one does, because how do they prove if you're a citizen or not, or prove if you're a criminal or not? So that's just an issue I would definitely keep on checking up on.
Having an ID and having a social security would be a way to prove it.
No, I'm talking about like sending them to El Salvador because when you send them to El Salvador, it's a concentration camp essentially. Like, you are sent there, they shave your head, you have to work in slavery, and you die there.
I have a friend that's there.
Yeah, so it's like a really, really terrible system. So that's like overkill. And we need to make sure that we don't want any innocent people at all being sent there. Especially like eventually, if they keep on doing this shit, they're gonna get a citizen eventually, and they're just not gonna believe it. When he says I'm a citizen, they're gonna be like, no, you're not, and he's gonna try to show them the documentation, and they're just gonna ignore it. And that's not good, man.
Yeah, and the way to prove that would be to have a social security number and have an ID, because when you come into the land of America, you get an ID.
Well, that's the problem, though, right? Because let's say they come after someone, and this is the big issue that we're really talking about on the liberal or Democrat side. It's not even about about that. It's even if you have an ID, they don't give you the chance to present it. They come up with their face fully covered. They have an unmarked van. They're in plain clothes, and they're forcing you into a van. They're not giving you a chance to show your documentation. You look up a story in Chicago. A guy was walking around with his resume trying to get a job. Just a hardworking American trying to get a job, and they detained him. And he was detained for like 10 hours. They didn't give him a reason. They're like, oh, he's a citizen. After 10 hours, they just dump him off the side of the road. They don't tell him why. They don't give him any documentation. There's no records of it. So yeah, they're just going after people. They're abusing power. Like I haven't seen this, this abuse of power from the president.
So that if you don't see it from the president, why are you against him so bad?
No, I'm saying like I haven't seen this from any other. I mean, he doesn't. I don't even think he's awake, to be honest. I think he's in the same position Joe Biden was in, but 10 times worse. Thank you for donation, Sri, on Venmo. Thank you so much for $15. Thank you, Sri. But yeah, no, Trump is gone. I haven't heard Trump make a clear point in months. Holy crap, he was wandering around today, just like Biden. Him and Biden could have a fight playing shuffleboard at the retirement home.
I'm if it came down to that, I'm pretty sure Trump would whoop his ass if it came down to that.
I don't know. Hey, I Trump can swing a golf club, but Biden can ride a bike. Which one is more athletic, do you think?
Barely.
Dude, I want to see Trump on a bike. His dumb ass will be rolling down like Humpty Dumpty, bro. Holy crap, you'll be cracking.
Well, alrighty, bro. I'm about to hop off. I appreciate it.
All right, appreciate the call.
I will say the main reason why Republicans don't really like to talk to liberals or Democrats is because most of them think that they're always right and they can't be talked to. So I appreciate us going back and forth. Civilly.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I've never heard a Republican think they're right. By the way, they all just like admit they're wrong. Whenever I'm just kidding. Yeah, but thank you for the call, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, for sure. You too.
Thank you, Jordan, for being a member for 1 month. Tier 3. Thank you, Jordan. Hey guys, did you know that the average person spends about 6 months of their life waiting for a red light to turn green? 6 months. That's actually kind of crazy. 6 months staring at traffic lights. That actually is pretty, pretty interesting. Wow. The deep state makes us to do that, right? Howdy.
Hello. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good too. So I'm a new voter, and you're a very liberal person. Probably pretty educated. I just wanted to know. I'm not left or right, by the way. Like I'm like one of those people who have a lot to learn. So I just wanted to ask, why do you think DEI is good for the American people?
So DEI, to clarify what DEI is, so when it's diversity, equity, and inclusion, I probably just wouldn't use the words diversity, equity, and inclusion because it seems that people are mad about the words, because it includes veterans. I benefit from DEI. When I was looking for college, I was actually called a DEI hire or student when I went to college at a nice college because a doctor's kid was mad that I got into a good school. I did leave that school because I did not like the preppy feeling of it, but still, being from a poor rural white background, DEI benefit me because it benefits veterans, it benefits those that have disabilities, making sure that jobs are accessible, making sure that job applications are sent to different communities, making sure applications are sent everywhere. DEI at the core means equal opportunity. It means that every community has a chance to apply for a job, and make sure that we're not ignoring those who might be good candidates for a job in certain communities. So if I have a staff that's 500 people and they're all cat lovers, they all love cats because I like cats, so I kind of I'm kind of biased towards cat lovers. Someone might tell me hey, by the way, we have a policy in place where we want to look at dog lovers too. And maybe I need to look at dog lovers because I'm missing out on really good candidates, but I'm just not looking at that community. And at the very core, DEI always meant from the beginning in the 60s that there'd be equal opportunity. You could not discriminate. People get mad about affirmative action. Affirmative action would be reverse discrimination or reverse racism or quotas, but DEI is not the same as affirmative action.
Okay. And so by you being admitted into college, okay, I see. Okay, thank you.
But I would say when I got into college, I was in a dorm with a son of a billionaire who did not know how to do laundry. He could not do his own laundry because he probably had a maid do it or whatever, or a caretaker do it, or whatever you want to call the person, a nanny, whatever you want to say. They could not do their own laundry, so I had to overcome a lot of adversity to get into college, and I still had decent grades, but not amazing. But I still had a chance because they did a holistic evaluation based on, an application, your essay, an interview for if you're a good fit for the institution, and also just judging if you're going to be, if you're going to have good character and take the education seriously. So like DEI would allow someone like me from a really poor background with a bunch of, a family of like drunks and living around drug addicts. And all my friends, parents are all drunks and no one has good jobs. I live in a poor Appalachian coal mining town that's fallen apart. It gives me the opportunity to go and compete at these universities where the classes are dominated by those who have very rich parents who get automatic high SAT scores because they had $50,000 worth of tutoring, and I can go and outperform them. I outperformed tons of students at these colleges that had better test scores on paper, but because they looked at me as a person, and it is it's going to be up to luck for a lot of people. But looking at someone as a person can tell you a lot more if they had to overcome adversity to get where they are. It's kind of like judging a person as well. Often, I think it's good for society to judge a person on how high they can jump versus how high they can just reach. If you watch basketball, it's really impressive to see someone short dunk. But if you're a 7'5" guy, it's like, okay, you could dunk, but what else can you do?
Okay, so you're saying that DEI benefits those who are in poor communities and instead of like the color of their skin?
Yeah, so like if you look at DEI policy and like funding, I'm pretty sure for like black people, for example, less than 10% of total DEI programs go to black people. Most of DEI goes to veterans and those with disabilities. Then you have class, and then you have race. So like within DEI, you have so many different groups, and women can be involved as well. And like I said, if you're a straight white poor guy from a rural area, there's also DEI programs that go to people from those backgrounds as well.
Okay. So what if you're a straight white middle class male, and you, let's say, so many middle class people, they have enough money to get them into college and get them through a couple of years, but they're not rich enough for their parents to pay, but they're not poor enough to get those DEI scholarships and all of this financial aid. So what about that? What is, what I mean?
I mean, personally, I would have it on a scaling basis. So as much as possible. So like even with like welfare or whatever entitlements or whatever it might be, whatever social safety nets, I would have a gradual period of coming off it. So I'm pretty sure like financial aid programs already do this, unless if you're if your family makes a ton of money, which if they do, if you're separated from them, you can also apply for different grants if you're separated from your parents, for example. But let's say that someone who's poor, let's say tuition's $80,000 a year typically, and a poor person can get $45,000 off their tuition through financial aid and a scholarship. But like $30,000 is financial aid. Someone who's poor might get $30,000 in financial aid. Maybe if you make more money, you'd get $5,000 per year versus whatever amount of money. So like my ideal program would probably look like that on a scale, and try to do holistic admissions, and try to do interviews, and a lot of it does come down to who fits better, better on a campus. And like when we talk about DEI policy, I also want to stress that different private organizations and companies and campuses can make their own programs for this kind of thing. Most of the complaints I see people have is a random consulting group that a company hired because they want to avoid accountability for actually like maintaining a healthy workplace. But as far as the governmental policy goes, what Trump did when he got in office, he used executive order to pull back civil rights protections from the 1960s, like the Civil Rights Act. He did not repeal that, but things that came along with it, so such as if you're a federal government contractor, if you're working for the federal government, it was a rule that you had to not discriminate based on age, or not really age, but race, religion. Age does. There is a point where age does. You can't discriminate, but it depends on what range you're in. Yeah, but accessibility, you can't discriminate based on sex. You can't discriminate based on race or anything or class. And Trump repealed those initiatives, calling them DEI. But those, when it comes to like the federal law that Trump's getting rid of, that is just to do with equal opportunity employment. But if a random college or a corporation decides to do a DEI policy or affirmative action or quotas, that is outside the realm of what the government has ever mandated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, I see. Thank you, brother. I was just wondering because I hear on the internet there's a lot of speculation about what DI is. So thank you for teaching me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. If you have any other questions, feel free to call in. And these are very complicated topics. There's never, you should be afraid of anyone that says this is the answer in 10 seconds. Because I'll tell you all that stuff I understand about it. And then I'll say we need like 10 more conversations to get this fully down. So anyone that says this is wrong, this is bad, kill it in 2 seconds, that person's probably just being a politician.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Have a good one, man.
All right, you too.
All right, we'll do at least one more. I gotta sleep, guys. I gotta get sleep nowadays. Thank you for all the donations, guys. Thank you for all the support, guys. Really appreciate it. Yeah, if you want to donate, Jolah Politics on Cash App and PayPal or Venmo, whatever. Appreciate you guys. I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as politics goes. I saw a way you can apply, or I saw the way for applying to run for State House. So it's like between State House and yeah. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's good. Wait, who is this? What?
It's the politics, man. What's up?
Oh, it's Jolah. Hey, Jolah, what's up?
Yeah, it's Jolah. Yeah, that guy.
Hey, it's Azarant. How you been? We haven't talked in a while.
I've been alright. How about you?
I'm all right. You know what I just did for the first time tonight? This is only slightly on topic for politics, but I just downloaded TikTok and was like, all right, let me check it out. Dude, what a heinous interface. What an absolute piece of shit. Like, it was designed by a homunculus with a reading disability.
Well, it's not meant to really read things. It's meant to just be fed.
No, I just mean from from a user interface point of view. Like, the legibility of the design is heinous. The second you open the map, there's no screen, there's no menu. Instantly, it's playing video, it's playing sound. There's
well,
no
yeah,
way
that's
to
how it
mute
works.
No
they get people hooked. It's like they inject the drug right away,
yeah,
right?
No,
make you addicted.
I don't
get
understand how anyone could not because when I open even if I open YouTube to doom scroll, it's like I want the ability to hit the back button and then there's silence for 40 seconds before I open the next set of shorts.
I agree.
I mean?
If you open it, it kind of smacks you in the face because it really does start a video instantly. Like YouTube gives you a chance to start something else. Instagram does, but
exactly.
TikTok gets you right into a video. Even if you're in public, your phone can just start screaming at you.
Look at my subscriptions and be like, oh, a new video from this guy. Maybe I'll watch one or two things, or maybe I'll listen to Classical Gas or something like that, and then I'll watch something else.
I guess so.
TikTok's very aggressive. Anyway, what's the subject for the evening? Anything particular?
I don't know. I forget. What do you do? What do you talk about?
Oh, well, I mean, just the last thing I saw was the speech for what is it, Liberation Day or something like that or whatever.
Liberation Day sounds like a cult membership where you're about to all sacrifice yourselves for the freaking moon gods.
Liberation Day, no, it doesn't. Liberation Day sounds like what it sounds like what Saddam Hussein names the anniversary of his ascent to power.
But yeah.
It does not sound like a cult. It absolutely sounds like, but anyway.
Well, they called him a kind leader. He's kind.
How are we feeling about reciprocal tariffs?
Well, the fact that they're not even real tariffs that we're reciprocating, they're made up numbers. That's awesome.
Oh, you don't think non-monetary policies constitute tariffs?
Did you see how they came up with the actual numbers for the reciprocal tariffs?
Yeah, they factor in all kinds of stuff, regulatory hurdles.
No, they took deficit No, the way they did these tariffs, let me find it again.
Value-added tax and explicit tariffs, and then they compute them all together, and then they divide that by half, and that's the reciprocation rate.
I don't even think they did the VAT. I think they literally just did our deficit divided by our total.
Okay, I know you're definitely wrong because it was presented and it was very specifically mentioned in the presentation, and they pointed it out and described it in detail, and they mentioned the VAT several times.
In detail? You think they described it in detail?
I mean, considering that, it was a speech, a press conference, yes, that is quite a lot of detail to just give as a speech on the lawn or something, to go into that much detail about a program in that context. Yes, that is.
Okay, why are we taxing those random islands outside of Australia at 10%?
Because the minimum tariff was also set at 10%. For example, the existing tariff rate between us and the UK was calculated at 10%. and rather than divide it by 50%, it was set at 10%.
Why is Russia left off the list and Canada and Mexico?
Because the United States does not have normalized trade relationships with Russia.
Okay.
Well, you asked. That's why.
Okay.
We don't import anything from Russia, so they don't have tariffs.
Well, you probably say we already have sanctions on Russia.
Sanctioned by the U.S.
Yeah, you could say we have
They're
sanctions on them.
economically sanctioned by the U.S. They're cut out of our trade system. They're cut out of our banking.
Wait, do you think the tariffs are a good thing?
Tariffs on us. Do I think tariffs are a good thing? Good is a little abstract as a term. Do I think they're economically productive? If you live in America, yeah. Net productivity
how is that
for the entire world is probably going to go down, but so will net consumption, and that's probably good for the environment. In addition to, it's probably good for the soul as well.
For the soul, so good for America. If the entire world collapsed, then America would collapse too. We would suffer at the same rate, probably even worse. Considering how we would. If we're already in a place like where you are with trade.
You need to watch a few more videos on just like geography. The United States absolutely would not suffer the same as the rest of the world. No, the United States suffers from a gluttony of natural resources that make it incredibly easy to be us.
Well, we're gonna really help China. It's a Chinese century, as many are saying.
It's the Chinese century?
Yeah, China's much more stable than we are right now. As far as partners go, China's much more stable than America is right now. I would not be surprised to see countries, especially since we're going after like West Africa, and yeah, we're going after African countries that China is targeting as well for new trade relations and stronger trade relations, and we're pulling out every international development fund from those areas as well. Yeah, 100%.
So, okay, there's 3 assumptions in that claim that's wrong. One is peer relationships internationally aren't the only dimension by which a nation succeeds. Peer relationships internationally are not all created equally. You know, being friends with France is not the same thing as being friends with, Chad. And then the third thing is that why would you assume that the money that was being paid through those development programs was giving us a positive return on investment as in regards to our soft power projection?
So, like, are you saying that we need to have like a mini recession or depression in order to shore up American manufacturing?
Define we.
America.
No.
Because there's no way, if we're already, okay, so let's say we're not producing enough, that's the argument, we don't produce enough in America. Okay, now you're cutting off imports from the entire world. These complex supply chains are already set up. Now we're saying, okay, move all your factories here, which is a 5, 10 to 10 year, or 5 year to 10 year investment. You're not saying that we're going to be enduring a recession or economic crash in that time period.
Back up. Hold on. It's a 5 to 10 year investment. It's a 6 to 12 month investment to productivity beginning investment. So it's 5 to 10 years for your investment to make its return. It's 6 to 12 months for your investment to start producing usable, consumable goods.
No, like for a company right now, they're making 5 year or even 3 year, 5 year, 10 year investments on where to set up supply chains. These are very complicated things. So having a president be a dumbass and use national emergency powers to do tariffs, which are already probably illegal, and not even Congress. That's not official U.S. policy. He can do it. He could change it whenever he wants to. He's probably going to whine it or wheel and deal random exemptions on whoever can slide him enough money in Trump coin. That's not a way to do economic policy. No company's going to adjust their entire supply chain based off this faulty economic bullshit.
International trade policy has never been the jurisdiction of Congress. It's always been the jurisdiction of the legislature.
A tax on the American people like this is 100% the duty of Congress.
Again, it is completely within the purview of the executive branch.
No, he's saying there's national emergencies, and that's why he's doing it. He's claiming national emergency power, the biggest extension of national emergency power that we've seen probably in 50 years.
That's fine, but it's an emergency extension of an existing executive power. To negotiate our relationships with foreign nations is the sole purview of the executive branch. Congress isn't involved.
Could negotiate. He could negotiate, but that does not include. So, like trade deals, for example, you can talk about trade deals.
No, it does include. There's nothing that it doesn't include. It does include. He has universal, unilateral, sole authority, except the power to make war with everybody internationally.
Are you saying that like if you have a supply chain for like what is one thing Trump wants to return to America?
Cars.
Cars. Okay, so like if you have a complex supply chain set up somewhere, and by the way, if I was talking about shoring up, a supply chain for American national security, I would not start at cars ever. Holy shit. But regardless, okay, to move
Why
those
not? Hold on,
huge
hold on,
supply
why
chains,
wouldn't you
that is a
start at
5 or 10 year plan.
Again, no, it's
You
not.
probably start off with base level manufacturing for mining for precious metals. Also, I
don't
talk
have them.
about medical supplies as well. We don't make pharmaceuticals here as much as we could. We make those in largely
Sure.
countries like Denmark. I start off with things like that, which are truly necessary. Cybersecurity platforms, probably green energy as well, which Biden tried encouraging because that's
we are.
But Trump is like killing those grants for the Inflation Reduction Act. He's killing those initiatives.
Okay. Do those grants provide a positive return on investment?
Yes.
Your claim is that the Inflation Reduction Act and the fiscal policies of the Biden administration produce a positive
100%. If you think the tariffs
Okay.
provide any economic benefit, then you need to say the Inflation Reduction Act does as well, because you're talking about incurring economic depression for no reason.
What is the economic benefit of the $17 billion that were spent not building broadband in the central United States?
I'm not talking about the broadband. I think there's too much government regulation
what
and
is
red
the
tape around that
economic
system. And by the way, that is a
what
corporate
is the
problem as
economic
well, because
utility of
corporations
fraudulent
negotiated that to be as ineffectual as possible. But broadly supporting green energy is 100% a worthy measure in America. That's why China's investing in it so heavily, because they know what the next
Define
name of the
green
game is going to
energy.
be. Those solar panels, wind turbines, and even
Are you
nuclear.
considering nuclear as part of green energy?
Yeah, we need more nuclear investment. We should be going towards
Okay,
that
nuclear
more,
is
but I don't
already-
hear Trump talking about that at all.
The Trump. What do you mean you don't hear him talking about it? Donald
I do
Trump
not hear him talking
administration
about
is
it.
the
No.
most pro-nuclear. No, you are lying. The Donald
I
Trump
want to
campaign
see
is the
actual reinforcement
I
of
will
nuclear
send you
energy
8
and nuclear
YouTube
energy
videos
being
of him
encouraged
screaming
for
at rallies about
non-AI.
nuclear.
I want nuclear energy for not just AI plants and private investment. I want the American people to be able to benefit from this as well, not just Google and OpenAI and Elon Musk so they can steal our data.
So, okay. So developing the industry to build small nuclear reactors to serve niche technical needs like high energy laboratories and data projects is not going to support the long-term power generating baseload infrastructure of the U.S.'s ability to develop nuclear power. I mean, you're just saying it's a 5 to 10 year turnaround for something as basic as pharmaceuticals and basic industry. You're telling
Do you
me
think
that
cars
you're
are basic?
unsatisfied. Hold on, you're unsatisfied with the trajectory for nuclear power because it's too focused on small and modular design.
No, there's no government policy
and we need
focused
to
on it. There's no
focus on-
government policy encouraging it. I'm talking about government policy encouraging it. I'm not talking about private investments and waiting for them to come around. We need national priorities. If you're saying we're going to use tariffs and use executive power to use tariffs to direct industries, and to threaten industries with these tariffs that'll cripple the economy, so they beg
That's
for
not-
an exemption,
that's
or
not
so
what
they
I
or
said,
they're
and that's
or
not
they're
what's being
or so they're
said.
forced to bring companies or bring their supply chains to America, which is a 3, 5, or 10 year plan. Then you should be adding a surplus or a subsidy. I mean, they should be adding a subsidy
Again,
to
so-
encourage these industries as well, if they're that
You
important.
keep saying 3, 5, 10 year plan. You're making a false equivalence. The total length time of the plan is not the same length as what it takes to begin producing material. Like a factory that is being put into service, even if it takes 5 to 10 years for that factory to be fully operational or to pay itself off, it does not take 5 to 10 years for that factory to begin producing the things for which it is designed to produce.
So like for example, for a car, so you have a lot of different things you need, right? You need semiconductors, you need materials that are made mostly in China, Mexico, Japan. And we're going to be cutting off supply from, unless if we're going to maintain relations with Mexico. That makes things a lot easier if we maintain with Mexico and don't start a war with them, but it looks like we are. We need the metals for that. We need the steel for the extra supply. We need to move already existing plants in Mexico and Canada to America. So this is like, it is a 5 to 10 year. If you don't know it's that, I don't even know how to explain that. I need to learn how to explain it better for.
Yes. Again, you're making a false equivalence. 5 to 10 year plan does not mean 5 to 10 years of nothing happening and then suddenly.
It 100% does mean a recession. It 100% means a Great Depression probably if we maintain these tariff programs. 100%.
It 100% probably means that.
100%. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. If these exact
works-
policies
it-
maintain
60%
as
of the
is, but
time
Trump
it
already
works every
Trump
time.
already removed it on gas and oil again, so maybe he'll walk it back again because he's a little baby boy. But yeah, he's probably not going to keep it because it's going to crash the economy too. It's too quick to do that for Trump. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be able to sustain. Even like Chase, J.P. Morgan, Chase like increased their recession chances to like 70% if he maintains these policies, maybe 80% now.
Right, because J.P. Morgan and Chase definitely don't serve to benefit structurally from certain economic policies.
From certain economic
But anyway.
policies, that's vague.
Oh, sorry. Economic policies that make it easy for globally non-nationally associated
Global. Ooh, say globalism. Say
non-national-
globalist now. Say
Yeah,
globalist and then talk about Jewish
Sure, yeah.
people.
It does make it much easier for globalists to push
The
financial
globalist.
resources
Ooh.
out of the domestic
Ooh.
consumption economy. and to
Who
make it
is a bigger
available
issue for democracy,
people.
Elon Musk or George Soros?
George Soros.
This guy is stupid. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. This guy is special. You're a special guy.
Here's an interesting thing. Okay. What about Elon Musk? Okay. What would be the least egregious breach of power? What would be the sneakiest and most clandestine way by which Elon Musk could personally have you incarcerated?
So Elon Musk right now, Starlink is being heavily invested in by private investors in China. Musk is probably helping China take Taiwan currently. He has pledged allegiance to the Socialist Communist Party or not Communist Party of China. Let's see. I forget what the actual name is. I always say it wrong.
The Chinese
Is it the Chinese Communist Party
the
or is
CCP?
it the other one too?
The CCP is the government.
Yeah, no, I always say CCP instead of CPC. Sorry, but yeah, he has pledged allegiance to China's socialist values and then their communist values. So yeah, he's probably he already has put AI through all of our government's internal data. So I would say that he's probably working for another country,
again,
another stakeholder. For sure.
So the question I put to you that you didn't answer was, what would be the most clandestine way by which Elon Musk in his current position could act in order to incarcerate you? Like if you did something to personally upset him or grieve him and he wanted to abuse his power to put you in prison and to like make you a victim of the system, how would he do that?
Well, they could right now, but there'd be too much public pushback. But there's no one in the systems right now when it comes to the federal government. Like they could do that because they don't have any more deep state people that would stop them from jailing American citizens like they're doing to all these El Salvador victims that are innocent.
Just paint me a picture. Give me the broad strokes. What would it look like if Elon
Bro,
Musk
I'm not giving you
were to-
broad strokes, and we're not dating. I'll give you broad strokes after we're dating. Jesus. Okay, so like when we talk about like Elon Musk, he poops himself. He poops himself very like all the time. I don't know why he does it. He doesn't know how to wipe very much, and he keeps on getting these women pregnant through like he freezes his sperm and like pays women to have children. It's really weird, and he like does eugenics and all.
Why
It's
is that
crazy.
I'm sorry, it's weird to pay women to have your children. I'm fairly certain
It's very
paying women
weird.
to have your children is one of the oldest institutions there is.
Oh my god, you are the type of guy to like tariffs, bro. You are the tariff guy. Makes sense.
I'm sorry, do you disagree that paying women to have your children isn't a time-honored tradition?
Sure.
Okay. Anyway, also, you mentioning him pooping himself, I also think it's pretty obvious that the man is pretty severely autistic. But aside from that, you keep avoiding it. Were you the one who had? Do you have Destiny is awesome in your like bio right now or whatever? I think I saw that earlier tonight, right?
Yeah. It says Destiny is awesome in my bio.
I can tell
for
you
sure.
definitely watch him because I've asked you the same question 3 times and you won't engage with it. So
Like what?
if Elon Musk were to perpetrate a specific abuse of his power that had the opportunity to personally victimize you, what would such a hypothetical action be?
So I don't have a hypothetical for this one, but that one judge that was appointed by George Bush, Musk keeps on posting pictures of his daughter.
Hold on,
Musk keeps on posting pictures of his
clarify
daughter.
what you just said.
So it's really bad to
Make
get
sure
like
I
an
understand
entire
what you
U.S.
said, Jolah.
audience or to get his entire like ex audience against your like daughter when you're a judge. I think that's pretty bad. Like targeting your family members, using his massive platform is really bad, and that's the start of how they start to go after political opponents before they actually jail people.
Yes, I agree that it is a socially irresponsible for any.
It's not
way for
irresponsible.
any
It's
individual.
intentional because he wants to direct death threats at the judge's daughter on purpose, who's a private citizen who should not be getting violence sent her way. He's purposely doing it. He's not stupid, even if he's autistic. He's not. He's both. He can be both autistic and smart.
And that is sure. That's it. Sorry, when I said socially irresponsible, it's a detestable way to behave. Yes, I think that's a completely detestable form of behavior. But again, the question was if Elon Musk was going to abuse his power in order to undermine your civil liberties, which civil liberties would they be? How would he do it? And let's make the assumption that he's trying to get away with it.
I can see them going in. I mean, it depends on like Elon Musk himself as an entity. I can see them going through like voter rules before people vote and like deleting names off it, which is what they're trying to do with like Trump's executive order. That could be a big violation of rights. Essentially removing the right to vote. And right now, like crippling Social Security, and like missing checks for the first time, that can get people killed. So I mean, targeting that.
Missing checks for the first time? You think this is the first time Social Security has missed a fucking check?
At this rate, yeah, 100%. At this failure rate, 100%, yeah. At this wide scale.
You mean that an outage that coincides with the issuance of payments is relatively rare?
No, like right now there are issues
outage.
tied to Doge, and there's also like a 15-hour wait time when you call it because they cut all the workers and there's no one to keep maintenance on the website. And the system sucks right now, and people are missing payments for the first time in their lives.
Well, that's not true anymore.
And some people are known as dead.
There was a 27-hour outage of all Social Security network services, but it was restored the next day, and payments which were missed were reparated within the week. So, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. The Social Security site has been fixed. It was down. It did suffer a major outage, and it did miss payments as a result. There was a whole press conference about it. They discussed how it happened. They discussed the connection to the underlying maintenance issues.
Also, he just lies about so much. Like when he lies about like there was $1 billion survey for the national parks, or there were people over 150 years old getting payments, or there's kids getting payments who shouldn't be, and there's illegals getting payments. He's lying about all of that. I think that's terrible because people sound stupid.
Hold on. So you're saying that Elon Musk has published specific numbers about the precise, like audited records, and you're saying that he went on public television and lied in his capacity, and he got everybody in his he got everybody involved to lie.
yeah, that's what he does with like Tesla for sure. Yeah, so it makes sense.
Hold on, and the claim is that those numbers came from a specific, verifiable, incontrovertible internal source. So not only that,
Trump's own Social Security administrator debunked Elon Musk's claims. Yes.
Which claims?
About
By the way,
the
don't
old
think that
people
we've gotten
getting
away
payments.
from the question you still haven't answered.
The old people getting payments. I'm bringing up real things he's actually doing in the world. You sound like Destiny trying to bring up dumbass hypotheticals
don't think that there are
for everything. When we could be talking about real examples.
Registered on Social Security.
They're not. There's no one over the age of 120 getting payments. We know that for a fact.
Okay, that doesn't mean that those aren't continued to be marked as active, registered, available to be used.
Yeah, no, there's no one. There was no one over the age of 115 marked as getting payments.
I'm going to double check you on the Social Security Administration debunks Elon Musk. That's a.
If you think that's actually happening, you just paid attention to politics yesterday.
Hold on. You're talking about on March 24th, Michael Astrew, who is not Trump's Social Security Administrator, but is the formal Social Security Administrator from the George Bush era. That guy, who on March 24th did a statement. That's the news article you're lying about? The one that I just Googled and it immediately told me that you were full of shit?
Here, let me find it.
Because I can see all of the news articles from the Associated Press dated from 5 days ago that are
you just invented the damn internet. You just invented the internet. Holy shit. You invented the internet. Oh my god. Okay, so here's a report from February, AP News from, what's his name? Lee Dudek. Lee Dudek acknowledged recent reporting of people over the age of 100 getting benefits. The reported data, people in our record are not receiving benefits. The people who don't have a date of death are not receiving benefits over this age. He's confident in Doge, but he did say that there's not people getting benefits over that age. Dudek. It's
So
the
they're not
COBOL
being
programming
paid out
software
from
that was
Social
confusing.
Okay. Again, people being paid out from Social Security is not the same thing as your Social Security number still being
That's all that
available.
matters. When Musk is still repeating that to this day, he's trying to make it sound like
That's
there's people getting
also- hold
payments
on.
who should not be
That's
from Social
also
Security
not
because he
the-
says there's waste, fraud, and abuse. That is not waste, fraud, or abuse.
That's-
They just don't clean up the
that's
records because
also
there's no
not-
reason to.
Also, Social Security insurance and Social Security disability insurance are not the only mechanism by which having an active Social Security number entitles you to receive benefits from the government. The most common example is actually Medicare. There was recently a thing about this exposing how illegal immigrants would be issued Social Security numbers as part of their asylum process. They would be used to register Medicare benefits. And because the Medicare system was invented in 1990 something and hasn't been updated since and doesn't talk to the Social Security system, all it does is check, hey, does a valid Social Security number exist? And if the system says yes, then Medicare says, oh, good, Social Security number, all good to go, everything checks out. No further verification takes place. That's how people who are illegal immigrants are able to get Medicare just because they have a Social Security number. And it enables Social Security numbers that are not properly deactivated or maintained to continue to be used to apply for loans, to access credit, to withdraw Medicare benefits, to perpetrate fraud of any variety. Really.
So this is a really good point. So if that's happening, they should talk about that. They shouldn't lie about people getting paid who are over 100 years old
you
or
want me
150.
to send you the? So,
Okay,
right,
no, okay. This is the thing, though. When they're lying about the entire program, they're lying about people making over. And by the way, if that happened 2 times, I don't care. When they want to kill the entire program, we're talking about like they're lying about people over a certain age getting benefits at all. When they're trying to kill Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, they're going after all of those aggressively. That's the point of Musk, is to devalue those programs in everyone's minds. So when Musk is going after, when Musk is saying that people over 100 years old are getting paid, that's going to make people think, oh, there's a lot of waste and fraud in Social Security. So when there's people getting notices that they're dead and they don't get payments, people are, and when they, like Musk has said that all the fraudsters are going to be the ones complaining the loudest when we take off their payments. It's like, no, it's going to be the people who are struggling. So they're setting up a scenario where they can cut people off Social Security, and they're trying to dehumanize the people on it so they can do that without getting any political repercussions. The same with like Elon Musk showing the numbers of immigrants who have Social Security numbers. That doesn't mean they're getting benefits. The numbers he shows at all these dumbass press conferences are the people with numbers who are paying taxes. That shows nothing on who's receiving benefits at all.
No. You don't necessarily pay taxes just because you have a Social Security number. You get a Social Security number issued and assigned to you, validated and instantiated whenever you go through the process where you get an administrative. So when you cross the border illegally, if you get caught, it's a felony or a misdemeanor. But because of an order from the Biden administration, they were instructed to release them all, catch and release, with what's called an administrative citation. And then the administrative citation has a court date that they're supposed to show up to where they hear their asylum hearing. As part of that process, the person is assigned a Social Security number. That doesn't mean that they necessarily work or pay taxes. In fact, they're not eligible to work. Having a Social Security number does not mean that they're entitled to work.
It also doesn't mean they're getting benefits.
While they're here illegally waiting for an asylum hearing, then they are working illegally. It's a crime for them to do that. So the claim that these people are just paying taxes is fucking nonsense. And even if they are working and paying taxes, that's an income and a tax revenue that could be coming from an American.
Nothing you said at all debunked anything I just said at all.
Yes, it did. You made the claim that those Social Security numbers of illegal immigrants represent tax-paying people.
What I said is it does not represent. What I said is the major claim is that they are getting benefits. The numbers do not show, because when Musk shows it, he's like, look at all these illegals on the benefits. No, it's them having Social Security numbers with the intention of, okay, we give them numbers so they can be taxed, or we give someone an ITIN to be taxed.
No, so
but when Musk says it, he's saying it to make Americans think that there's illegals getting all these funds when that's not what's happening. But Musk is saying that to intentionally lie to people and distort the data.
I send you the hour and 20-minute long form interview, and then I send you the timestamp of the part where they discuss actively going through and cross-referencing. So
you know what? I actually don't care. I'm a propagandist. That guy's not a real voter. No real voter is going to be that stupid. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm not talking to anyone that doesn't sound like an actual voter anymore. That's my new thing. I'm not talking to any internet people that know who Destiny or Hassan is. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Okay. Okay. Just what? Oh.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to jump in on this too. Hello? Someone there? Okay. I'm listening to the podcast and I have 2 phones. Okay, yeah, give me a call back if you guys are interested in talking a few things. Sounds like, diversity is awesome.
Yeah, propaganda is good, okay? Propaganda is amazing. Do not elevate voices that can yell and sound even somewhat correct. I'm just saying, we should be banning people from every platform if they don't like cats. Because if you don't like cats, it shows that you are afraid to be in touch with your feminine side. And if you're so insecure you can't be in touch with your feminine side, you can't be like trusted for good information. Because if you don't like cats, then you're showing your insecurity because you think masculinity is gonna be ruined if you admit that you love it when cats purr on your chest when you're sleeping. You know, when cats all snuggle up on you and they like lick your chin and they like put their butts in your face and they smell and then they like bite your foot. You know, if you can't admit you like the experience of a cat, how can you admit any issue in the world if you can't see these faults in yourself? Like liking cats as a man shows you're able to bypass those arbitrary societal limits that you put on yourself in order to expand and see the world, see yourself in the world as a bigger person, as a bigger version of yourself, a truer version of yourself that you never were able to get close to. So you should ban everyone off every platform that does not like cats, okay? I was having these thoughts today as well. I keep on saying this, but the people in the chat right now are not real individuals. So like, and I'm gonna keep on saying this too. I don't think trans issues is that big of an electoral defeat. I think it needs to be talked about confidently in a strictly freedom way. I really don't think people care that much. I think they do care a lot, don't get me wrong. But as far as the voters, I don't think Democrats are ever going to win a voter who can't stand trans people that much that trans people will be the reason they don't vote Democrat. I don't think Democrats are going to get those voters. Those voters are mad, they're angry, they're probably kind of sad. I don't think we should waste time trying to convince people who have this pre-constructed notion in their brains. We should be expanding our base. We should be going for the middle more so. Going for true freedom-loving Americans who care about freedoms, liberty, and justice for all. Don't waste your time on someone who believes in some wonky, wacky shit they saw on YouTube. Don't debate the existence of anyone. Just make your case for what you care about, how you want to serve people, how you want to organize your community, represent what you want to what you want to like represent, and yeah. Cats are life. I am fake. They feel guilty for being attracted to... I'm real. You may have issues, especially about the trans issues. I don't care. You're not real. You're not a real person. If you like wake up every day, imagine waking up every day. All right. I grew up in a pretty shitty environment. I would never wake up and cry about pronouns, bro. Thank God for the earth around you. Stop crying about pronouns. You talk about compelled speech. Why do you compel yourself to sound like a dumbass every day, bro? What compels you to do that? Compelled speech. I got to use the pronouns. No one compels you to cry about it constantly. For people who don't want to talk about pronouns, for people who don't want to say pronouns, for people who like say trans issues are the worst conversation we can have because it like ruins society. Why do you talk about it all the time, bro? Why do you cry about pronouns every single day? Y'all can't talk about jobs or Medicaid or whatever. You gotta talk about pronouns, bro. We're talking about pronouns. Pronouns. We're not talking about policy. We're not talking about hardworking Americans. We're talking about pronouns, bro. Pronouns. You want to talk about pronouns. Not the policy. Not the policy. Not the policy, bro. You want to talk about pronouns. That's why your side lost, because people are sick of this. Toughen up. Toughen up. Toughen up. Toughen up. Stop crying. Stop crying. Stop crying. Stop crying. Join us. By us, I don't give a shit what ideology you are. Just stop being a little baby. Talk about issues affecting your community. And if you're offended, if trans people are your number one issue, you're a baby. You're a social media crybaby. I don't give a shit. Like, go cry somewhere else. We're talking about pronouns, not policy.
I tell you that I mispractice. If a coach say I mispractice and y'all hear it, then that's that. I mean, I might have missed one practice this year.
Calling me not real? Yeah, you're not real. I'm not going to affirm your identity of being a dumbass. I'm not going to affirm your identity. You don't exist. I'm not going to affirm you. Okay, I'm not going to give you your identity that you're requesting of me. I'm not going to let you identify as a real valid opinion when you just cry about bullshit all day. Like, why would I ever care?
But if somebody say he doesn't come to practice, it can be one practice out of all the practice.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk would flame me. Yeah, only in a forehead competition. And that's saying something, brother. I got forehead for days, but Charlie Kirk would blow me out the damn water, bro. Charlie Kirk would triple my forehead. Quadruple, in fact. It's like comparing the Atlantic Ocean to the Dead Sea. Like, holy crap, bro. Charlie Kirk would swamp my ass in a forehead competition. Holy crap.
This year, that's enough. If I can't practice, I can't practice, man. I'm hurt, I'm hurt. I mean, simple as that. It ain't about that.
It ain't about the policy, bro.
It's not about that at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's easy to talk about. It's easy to sum it up.
It's easy to talk about the pronouns, but like,
we sitting here, I'm
talk about
supposed to be
pronouns.
a franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
Pronouns. Talk about pronouns,
I mean,
bro.
Listen, we talking about practice.
Pronouns.
Not a game. Not a game.
Not policy.
Not a game.
Not policy.
We talking about practice.
Pronouns.
Not a game.
Not policy, bro.
Not the game that I
not policy
go out there and
that we go out there and fight for to make sure Americans can survive.
Like it's my last. Not the game.
Not the policy.
Practice.
We're
man.
talking about
I mean,
pronouns.
how silly is that, man? We're talking
How silly
about
is that, bro? We're talking about pronouns,
I know I'm
bro.
supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that, and I'm not shoving it aside, like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice.
Pronouns.
Man. What are we talking about? Practice?
Pronouns?
We're talking about practice, man.
About pronouns, bro.
We're talking about practice.
Pronouns.
We're talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man. When you come in the arena and you see me play, don't you?
Absolutely.
You see me give everything I got, right?
Absolutely.
But we talking about practice right now.
But it's an issue that you're
We talking about practice. Man, look, I hear you. It's funny to me too. I mean, it's strange to me too. But we talking about practice, man. We're not even talking about the game, the actual game, when it matters. We're talking about practice.
Now, is it possible, though, that from where he's coming from, if you practice, not you would be better, but your teammates?
Yeah, they're pissed right now. They are pissed. They're pissed off right now. It's okay, though. Hi. Oh, I didn't see the other chat. Everyone's lurking, hanging out. Yeah, bro. Okay. I don't know what else to do tonight. I'm probably gonna go to bed. Everyone's busy tonight. No, but God, we need a prevailing narrative. I do genuinely believe that most Americans don't care that much about it, and if we had strong leaders, the trans issue would not be an issue. As far as electoral success goes, look at Andy Bashir. Look at Andy Bashir, bro. He ran on trans issues in Kentucky and won in a Trump 65 Trump state. It's able to be done, but it needs to be genuine. You don't got to get into data debates on, what is the data for gender dysphoria? It's really just about making appeals to freedom. And also, like, if a local school board wants to ban a book, you can talk about different books. Maybe we can agree on a book or two that has imagery that we don't want in high schools. But the issue is they use one or two books that have questionable content. They say there's a nefarious, evil deep state pushing this book on kids, and now they want to ban every book in the library. They want to ban books about race issues, about gender, about general health for kids. They want to ban all these books. All of a sudden, one book becomes 200, becomes 300, becomes 400 books. We can have reasonable conversations about books. We can have reasonable conversations about trans people in sports, 100%. But it makes you look unreasonable if you really care about something and another side comes in and does not care at all, and they care in the opposite direction. And they can poison the well, and then they take your reaction, your genuine reaction, and they turn it against you. And they say, look at this liberal, they're offended. You know, at a public school, it's okay for there to be content that some students might disagree with. And I feel that we should protect kids for sure from content of a certain nature, but also we can't baby our kids from the world and what exists in the world. Like, different things are going to come up. You know, if you're a white kid, you're going to ask, oh, why is that person a different skin color? You're going to ask, oh, why is that man with another man? Those are tough conversations if you're a parent. Talking about relationships is tough. There's kids getting pregnant and doing things at, 10 years old, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. As soon as it's biologically possible, there are kids throughout the country who are going to be engaging in things. And we want to make sure that kids are as safe as possible and provide the health resources that kids need to make sure there's less teen pregnancies and less STIs and STDs. It's not something you can just be authoritarian and completely avoid. We should definitely have guide rails and guardrails and in some capacity, but we can't just shield tough conversations from every arena of life, even if it offends you. It's not a good society to just like thought police and block words and ban words like diversity and inclusion or pronouns or whatever. We should have those tough conversations, and we should not teach our kids to be afraid of those tough conversations. And we could debate on when to learn about different things and how to learn about it. But just like you have discussions on race or sex or gender, or about like, okay, that person is gay. Some men like other men. You probably don't. You might not. Some people do. Maybe you do. I don't know. You got to talk to a kid about that. And if that kid sees someone who's trans, then it's another conversation in the same exact vein. But just because it's uncomfortable and it's new and it's different does not mean we should cut down a category of what should be protected civil rights just because it makes our conversations a little bit more complicated. And there's no reason to say all gay people or all black people or all trans people or all white people or all men or all women or all whatever. There's no reason to say all of whatever group is dangerous. If you're an honest person who wants to make the world safer and better, you will approach the conversation in good faith. And we need to open up the conversation to more people who truly want the world to be better. And we need to stop wasting so much time debating in the worst way possible with individuals who simply do not want the world to be better. We can't let them drain our energy anymore. We don't have the time for it. We don't have the energy to be drained by these very sad, pitiful people who don't want to learn. Maybe you're confused. Maybe you do have questions. Maybe you want to have a conversation. That's great. But if your mind's made up, tell us your mind's made up. Don't make us waste time on your dumb ass. I'm open to being conflicted. 100%. I'm open to the tough conversation. But these authoritarians want to ban books. These authoritarians want to ban speech. These authoritarians want to ban religions that they don't like agree with. And that's not cool. Jordan, thank you for 5 gifted memberships, Jordan. Thank you. Explicit books shouldn't be in public schools. For what age? For what age? There should definitely be tough topics in schools. 100%. We can't live in a world, okay? We cannot live in a world where we block all explicit discussion around health issues from kids. And also, there's a girl in Ohio that was abused and pregnant at the age of 10. At the age of 10, after 6 weeks, finds out she's pregnant. And because of Ohio's authoritarian laws, she needs to go to a different state at the age of 10 to get an abortion of the pregnancy that she got from an assault, a 10-year-old. We can't both have a world where we don't protect kids and we make kids be in terrible conditions and women in general be in terrible conditions, and you are afraid of the conversation. These are real things that happen. The real things that happen. And in the states where they ban the books, in the states where they have no explicit content at all, in the states where they ban education on health, they have higher rates of teenage pregnancy, higher rates of abuse for children, higher rates of STDs, higher infant mortality rates. All this stuff is worse in these states. Now, if you're talking about like 10 years old or younger, then yeah, you should not have books in that classroom about that, you know, or about different topics that are very complicated. But moving throughout high school, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 100%, kids need to learn about the world. You know, we're talking about putting 14-year-olds in meat packing facilities, but we also want to ban books. Like, you can't have both. It's crazy. Stop crying. Thank you for the gifted memberships. My eyes are getting itchy. I don't know, dude. Even just on like abortion. The issues with abortion, like I'm getting my allergies, bro. My allergies make my eyes all itchy. Join the Discord, by the way. I pinned it. I have to go to bed soon, but I have to clean before bed, so I'm gonna go in Discord and chat in Discord in like 10 minutes if you want to come in there and chat. You proved my point. You have no clue what authoritarianism is? Who didn't? Authoritarianism is being able to say that someone's a terrorist with no proof and deporting them to El Salvador to be in a forced labor camp. MAGA bans words like diversity.
Hello?
Howdy, what's up?
Oh, what's up, man? I just caught the stream. I actually just wanted to call to say I really support you running for Congress. I really hope you do it, man.
I don't know, man. So basically, I'm broke, okay? And you need money to do that, especially U.S. Congress. Now, State House might be more reasonable, but U.S. Congress would be super difficult. And although I would love the opportunity to message on a big platform, especially because I'm in a district that's like 65% Trump, I'd have no chance to win anything. But just having that platform and that microphone is awesome. But yeah, I don't have the money to get it off the ground. So that's a big difficulty about this thing, because these are $1 million, campaigns, and I just don't got that or the super good connections. I know I have the intangibles and the speaking ability and the platform and background. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's a big barrier, man. It's all about the money, man.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
I'm gonna start going outside and begging for money, bro. Help me run for Congress. I definitely want to run for something. So whether it's State House or whatever, definitely gonna be running for something. I'm looking into all my options, but you have to also imagine, like, U.S. Congress is like stupid, right? Like, anyone that I tell that to is gonna be laughing. Like, why would you do that? Like, you never ran for anything. You're young. But that's also how you can make a good story. And I really want a chance to have that microphone and be able to send this message before, I don't know where this country's going to be going. And I just want to talk about how we should want better for our communities, and we should look at each other in a positive way instead of wanting to fight each other all the time. And I really want to send that kind of pro neighborhood, pro people, pro community message. And there would be no bigger platform than running for U.S. Congress, even if it is like a dead run where there's no chance to win. So it's an interesting proposition.
Maybe start locally with your town.
Nah, that wouldn't be. I mean, see, the thing is, if I'd run, it would need to be like a state house kind of thing, because I would rather just do, if I'm running locally, I would just keep on doing regular advocacy and support other candidates and door knock and stuff. If I did this, it would be because I want myself to be front and center on a larger capacity than I am now. And I would want a chance to advocate, because I know my messaging is better than most Democrats. And I want Democrats to be able to see that there is another way to message, especially because I come from an actual background. I'm not from like a super rich area like most politicians are. So I understand those nuances, and I think my speaking ability far surpasses a lot of people's. And I have I don't know, I've put a lot of time into this, but the money and connections, bro, the money and connections is really the big thing. But I am pretty confident if I got in front of people, I'd have pretty good results as far as getting that support. But I guess it's really about putting the pieces together, and it's crazy. It's a crazy world, man.
What was the guy? He recently won a very competitive district in Pennsylvania. It was Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
It was like it was only for the state stuff, but still, but people keep saying like Democrats give up too easily on the region. Like it's 70% Trump. Is that because it's really a hard Trump district, or because the Democrats are like they've just given up in that? The people who live in that area who are Democrats just given up so much they don't even come out anymore?
Yeah, I mean, the last candidate for U.S. Congress, I'm pretty sure, is from like San Francisco and moved here and like got their degree in like or like Hawaii or something. So it's like the stereotype of like coastal elites or whatever. I don't know, if I had enough money, I'd definitely do it, because it'd be like, I don't know, just kind of fun too. I mean, hopefully the YouTube channel, and I appreciate everyone's donations and everything, definitely helps on my way there, on my way to try and become financially stable enough to do more advocacy and stuff. And I mean, who knows, man? I'm going to look into it a lot more over the next few days and see what my options are. But yeah, I mean, something that allows me to have a bigger platform and to make a story out of it, because I think that matters a lot. The attention economy is a huge thing right now. And, you said it's a 70% Trump. Like, does that mean people cannot be moved? I don't think it means they can't be moved at all, especially for statewide elections. If you move all the 70-30 or like the 65-35 counties to like, 60-40, then that can change the entire trajectory of the country, especially with like the electoral college. And Democrats do not fund local parties nearly enough when they spend billions of dollars on advertising, but they can't help like local parties be funded. So fixing that kind of system would be really, really beneficial too.
I remember you said it once years ago. Listen, as long as you don't call it socialism, an American will be 100% for it.
Yeah, I wish Bernie never called himself a socialist, because he's really not even. He doesn't even advocate for socialist policies.
But listen, we'll like walk him to it, dog. We'll walk him to it. Because at this point, what's the worst? At this point, you might as well be communist Russia. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to the point where it's like you need to say the 2020 election was stolen, and Trump is a great leader who's very kind and strong and humble, like North Korean dictator type shit. North Korean propaganda. Trump saved us with the amazing tariffs and made our country go into the golden age. It sounds crazy, dude. But that's why, I don't know. Number one, I don't know what the feasibility is with no money to start off with, and no connections. I don't know if I have the energy to do it, on top of work, on top of YouTube, on top of freaking DoorDash after work. And organizing all this stuff and meeting all these different people and door knocking. So that's a big hurdle. Being able to learning how to file correctly and setting all this stuff up and then actually doing it, having to ask people for money. I hate asking people for that. Like as far as like knocking door to door, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Just remember, man. Just remember. You're doing a lot, and it is a lot of hard work. You know, even Hassan can only do so much. All right.
Ugh.
So nobody's expecting much from you. All right. It's okay. You do what you can.
Well, everyone does more than Hassan does. If you get out of bed in the morning, so. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, man. I don't know. And I also think like, yeah, we are kind of going towards fascism. So I kind of, if I think I have a valuable, if I think I have a valuable voice or a message, then it's like, why not? Why not go for it? Why not have some fun and just like try it? And if I fail, it's just like a funny story to tell.
Yep. If we fail, we'll beat each other at the wall. You know what? We'll have some good stories. Hopefully we go up rather than down. At the very least, midterms, Chuck Schumer is on the unemployment line.
Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the call, man.
All right. Have a nice night, man. Stay safe. We believe in you.
Thank you. We believe in you. Thank you. Thank you, man. Have a good night. We believe in you. We believe in you. Wow, that's a good comment. I know one thing is for sure. If you don't try, but I know what the outcome would be for that. Nice. Having to survive on limited income is hard. Yeah. It might be all for tonight. But yeah, thank you guys for all the support. Thank you, Suri and Rita, for the donations on Cash App and Venmo. I'll try to keep on streaming somewhat consistently. I'll be traveling for work again in like 4 days, so we'll see. Try to keep it going. I need to make some propaganda. I gotta make some propaganda, bro. I cry. Okay, drop a like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. All that kind of stuff. Canada caves, you loser. Beautiful. Don't cry, it's their kink. AMC. Thank you. Yeah, good night, guys. I'll probably hop in Discord for a little bit if you want to chat in Discord. Oh, actually, no. There's no one cool in there. Except Kit. And Deafin sometimes. Shaking my head. You know I only go in there for DJ. Even Sprig's not there. Thank you, Glenn. $3, thank you. Jesus needs you. Oh, nice. Let's go to bed. Bye, trans dude. I promise you voters are not like that. I promise you. Promise you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Join the Discord. Join Discord. Join Discord. Be happy, happy. You can call in tomorrow. Whoever's calling right now. I like that last caller. Being all nice to me, huh? Swing for the fences. If you don't swing, you know you're gonna miss. Haha. Y'all are delusional. Thank you. You take care as well. I wish I was dumb enough to win arguments by just like insulting people. You are delusional. I'm gonna start doing that, bro. Someone makes a valid point. I'm like, you are delusional, bro. Why are you saying that? You're delusional. Just like fully gaslight. You're delusional. Bro, you're so delusional, bro. Get some good sleep. I do need sleep. I just drove like 5 hours today, so. And I was exhausted earlier, and I'm still exhausted. Probably getting more exhausted. I do need to go to bed. Thank you for the recommendations. Pre-Congress. Hey, don't. Thank you, Bucky, for $5. Thank you. I appreciate it. When did you make a valid point? Never. You should call in. Actually, wait. Liberty Logic, are you gay? I could see it if you are. You look. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, I looked at your profile. I'm proud of you. Happy Pride. Happy Pride, brother. Happy Pride, brother. And that is my valid argument that you have to refute now. Thank you, Bucky. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, everyone. Refute that claim, buddy. Where's your proof? Prove it. 99 viewers, man. You're killing it. Yeah, Greg. Thank you for commenting on my YouTube short stream. You're really cool. You're dope. Comment more on my YouTube short stream. Comment more, please. Please, please, please. You're really showing me up. Please do it. Keep going. That's dark, Glenn. Please, oh my god. Glenn, that's crazy. That is crazy. That is dark. Okay, Jeff. The pink lips guy hates Trump because this. Bro, are you an AI bot? Is this an AI bot that does this? I have nice. I have a whole copy and paste about me. That's great. The pink lips guy hates Trump because this pink lips is gay and hates Trump. Yeah, cool. I do need to fix my camera. Unrelated, kind of related, but I saw people say really quick.
How the hell can I make?
I saw someone say about the video I put up about like outside the other day. It matters to me because it affects. That's great. All the the whole contrast is off on this camera. I don't know how to make it better. I don't know how to improve that. Like when I take the video outside here, someone said I got my camera angle right and whatever. But it's like I don't know how to make my camera inside look normal because I don't. It's a bad angle. It looks more artificial. I do like having outside videos. I want to do that more. The outside videos are kind of fun. It's fun to be outside and actually have like a backdrop of like something else other than my desk for videos in general. It's more fun. It's just more lively. Feels better. Feels more flowy. Beautiful. Thank you guys for those. Thank you guys for the donations and support. Thank you. I'm checking my apps again to make sure no one donated on there before I go off line. Let's see. No one did. Pretty sure. All good. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you. Thank you again. Wonderful little liberal. Liberty logic. Is there something wrong with being gay? I enjoy calling conservatives gay. The wind was annoying. I agree. I love calling conservatives gay because they have the same response. Because they go into fake victim mode every time. And I do it for that intent purpose. And I'm gonna keep on doing it so you see what I mean. Because they all do it. It's like, what, is being gay a bad thing? Because they play like that fake little they're manipulators. So like by nature they try to manipulate you. So it's like, you're gay. Like, are you gay, sir? It's like, do you think gay's being a bad thing? Are you using gay as a slur? Like the one guy said, are you using gay as a slur, bro? You're using gay as a slur right now. You're using gay as a slur. And then he started saying the actual the F word over and over again. He called me the F word, the F slur over and over and over again. Right after that, it's just funny hearing them react the exact same way. What, is that a bad thing? It's like, okay. It's like, okay, buddy. All right, have a good night, guys. Thank you again. They call you a soy boy. No, I don't mean like gay as in they look feminine or weak. I mean gay as in they look pretty. I'm giving them a compliment. Light up your ceiling. My ceiling. That's tough. Gay isn't happy. No, not like happy. All right, have a good night, guys. Thank you. I don't actually call people gay in real life, though. I call them much worse. Like straight. Thanks for the compliment. Of course, see? That's what I mean. We just need to compliment each other more. We need to love each other. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. Have a good night.